What is going on, man? We are back. We are back. We are back. It is Tuesday. We didn't have any news. This video's getting started a little bit later because I sat here all day, man, and I was expecting this to be a no trade day. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I did not think I was gonna take a trade whatsoever because just the market wasn't bad. The price PA wasn't bad in terms of direction and the higher time frame. The price action was very clear, in my opinion, and it just didn't present itself an opportunity for me. And I'll kind of show you guys what I mean by that going into this market here. Let's go to NQ. So I ended up taking one trade. It was more of a scalp, and I'll kind of go over the reasoning for that. Yeah, it's not the greatest trade ever, but we'll recap that. I have the video and I'll show the executions. But first of all, got to go over what I was looking at going into the day. Otherwise, there's no context. So coming into the morning, we were selling off and we had just sold off and taken this low. ES had already taken that low. We are in discount of this move up, so we have retraced all the way down to discount. We're in a 4-hour fair value gap right here. We have a 4-hour imbalance there, right here, and we swept liquidity. Yeah, that's pretty much the main thing on the higher time frame. We have this daily fair value gap above us, which is the daily high. We actually have an SMT here. So going into market open, I want to show you guys this. ES actually had swept this high. So if we look here, this high here, it's synced up on my chart. This high takes out that high, NQ doesn't. NQ's on my left or on your left. And then we sold off. So the move lower this morning actually made quite a lot of sense, right? We had the SMT and the daily fair value gap. We displaced lower. We hold this imbalance here, and we displace again. So we sell off, and we get this move off open. Pre-market, there was a really nice trade I didn't take because I'm trying to move away from those types of trades where I take trades pre-market. But I like this one because we had a really bullish reaction off of the sweeping the low, and we had a bullish candle here, not just because it's green, but because we have an order block. We have a fair value gap here, right? If we mark in this fair value gap, we have a bullish fair value gap right here that we trade to. We hold, and we get a very strong reaction. This wick tells a lot. We get a close above this fair value gap. We trade into it, hold the consequent encroachment, and then displace higher. If you would get in here, a lot of time I watched it, I said, yo, I could get in here, go to break even at this high. But it was pre-market. It was at 9:06. I didn't really want to get stuck with my hand in the cookie jar, so to speak, and kind of just regret something early in the day. And we end up displacing through this and have a good run. I mean, a very, very easy 50 points. And then, I mean, if you just held, right, you could have held to here, it's 200 points. I mean, you could have held all day, and you'd be relatively fine. That was the early trade there, and I was looking at that. But again, pre-market, didn't have all my confluences in a row. Another good entry was just this 5-minute. When it inverse, we trade back to that, and we've just been trending since. I mean, if you look at the higher time frame, if you're someone that just trades the higher time frame, that's something you could have looked at today because we had the sweep on the Friday's low and the yesterday's low as well. We sweep that, we get a very bullish structure out. But again, this is pre-market. Again, you could come down, make an SMT at these lows, manipulate one more time. We have bearish PD raise this whole way down, so I can see why. I mean, I can see why I didn't take it, but I can see if you trade that and you have confidence with that, it's a great trade, right? So market opens around here, 9:30, and what was I looking at going in? We had all these fair value gaps I want to see something happen to. I want to see either reject lower, because I was actually a little bit bearish just because of the higher time frame. But when I saw this reaction off open, I knew that we were going to flip bullish. And then my instant draws on liquidity become these relative equal highs here, and then these ones, just all these smooth highs. Expecting this high to get taken, but who knows? Crazier things happen. It is about 1 o'clock, so we could just do something weird because we put an SMT with this high now. But we did have a 1-hour fair value gap that got closed. I wanted to see what happened on this order block. We disrespected, we closed above, and this 4-hour close was very important to me. As you can see, we had a 170-point wick on the 4-hour, which this is a very bullish candle. We sweep a low and a key low, sweep a low, and we have a very bullish reaction. So that kind of was what made me realize at 10, I was like, okay, I'm fully bullish now. I want to see some sort of retracement to get in longs. And then we have another, if you guys remember yesterday, I talked about the SMT fair value gap. We have another SMT fair value gap today on the 15-minute. I want to show you guys because this really, I guess, was the best narrative here for the day. And right here, right here we have this fair value gap here on the NQ. It doesn't get traded into, as you can see right here. This candle does not get into the fair value gap. And on ES, we do trade down. So we do trade down here and get into that 15-minute, and we have a bullish candle reaction out of it. That was where you could have had been looking for longs, but again, price was a little bit choppy off open. If we show what that looks like on the 1 minute, right? On the 1 minute, this is this, right? The 935 low right here. We have this low here, this lows, and we get a sweep, and we don't sweep it here. So this is the SMT, and that was kind of something that told me the SMT fair value gap told me, okay, we're going higher and we might not get any quality entry. I wanted to see this 5 minute get traded back down to, or just something, right, to take a confluence off of to go long, but we never really got it. We end up inversing this 15-minute here and the 30-minute, and we trade back down to the 30-minute here. As you can see right here, we trade back down to 30-minute, and we've been pumping higher since. And yeah, so I was just like, yo, not much to do. If we look at the 5 minute off open, this was tragic, to say the least. Right here was just, gosh. Right here was just tragic. Why did I mess up that control? Right here was just really, really really tough. And if we drop down onto the 5, or if we're on the 5 minute, and if we look at here, this order block actually holds very strong. And then we actually put in another order block here that we hold, and then we finally put another order block here that we don't trade back to, and then we start just placing higher. But this area in here was from 9:30 to 10:20, so we had a lot of time in this area, and I wanted to take note of what the price action looked like on this, right? This was the 1 minute off open. So when I was thinking through the day, something I was trying to tell myself was, look, I have no opportunity to get in the market. I wanted to see a trade. I wanted to get into a trade. But I was like, look, objectively speaking, besides this entry down here that's pre-market, that doesn't really fit my plan, doesn't really fit how I'm trying to trade right now. That was the only real entry, and it was pre-market, so I didn't take it. So then I was saying, look, if I'm objectively looking at this chart, because I was feeling a little bit frustrated, thinking, you know, I want to get a trade, I want to find something, I want to make some money, right? But I was like, look, let me really be rational with myself. Let me find where would an opportunity even be in this marketplace. And quite frankly, I was like, okay, let me take a look at this chart. Where was market open? Let's mark out market open right here. 9:30. Okay, we get a move up. We get chopped. We come up. No fair value gaps. We chop down. We don't sweep any lows, highs. Chop, 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 chop. There's nothing here, right? There's nothing here for me, right? I'm not saying that you can't trade it. Again, I don't take what I'm saying as facts and as, you know, the only method and the only way to trade. But for me, I don't have an entry here, and that's perfectly fine. I don't have an entry. Some people do, some people don't. This SMT, maybe you enter off this SMT when we got this displacement here, whatever, right? Cool. For me, it wasn't a trade. So when I sit here and look at the market objectively, I get frustrated that I didn't have a trade or I couldn't make money early. But then when I take a step back and look, okay, this is 10:30. This is 9:30 to 10:30. This is the first hour of market open. Is there anything in this price action that screams I should have been in the market? And when I look at it with a clear mind and a clear perspective, there's nothing in the market that makes me feel like, hey, I missed out, or I didn't see this, or how did I not do this? And the most frustrating part is that I can sit here and feel frustrated and feel this or that or the other, but when I really look at it, there was nothing for me to do in this really early AM session, and we just continue the slow climb. There's nothing for me to do here. There's nothing for me to do. There's absolutely nothing for me to do at this whole move up, right? Where did I take my trade? I took my trade because of this 30-minute fair value gap. I took it here. I wanted to see price come down to the 1 hour that we had just opened right here. I wanted to see this get filled, or this order block right here on the 1 hour. I wanted to see that come down to, which was also a 15-minute fair value gap, midpoint. But we never ended up getting down there. I was watching the 5 minute, and I saw this big wick out of this 30-minute fair value gap. So this blue box is the 30-minute. We trade down. We get a decent move down, right, from the high of day. We come down about 58 points. We have a big tail here, and we come up. And at this point, I was like, okay, there's probably something to look at here. I drop in onto the 5 minute or 2 minute time frame, and we actually have this 1 minute, 2 minute fair value gap. And I said, okay, cool. I like the way this looks, but I was a little bit, skeptical, so I'm getting rid of the 30 minute. This was a very bullish close, but I was like, you know what? I wanted to see this 1 hour fair value gap, which was down here, or the order block. It never got met, but then I saw the 30 minute and was like, you know what? This looks like a good 30 minute fair value gap holding. Looks like a nice rebalance. We're holding this order block very strong, and I saw enough confidence for me to get in the marketplace. I went in. I was a little bit risk adverse today. That's why I only ended up making $100 because I went in. I went in here, and I really wasn't. I didn't get the best entry. If I'm going to be completely honest, I really just did not get the best entry. I'll pull up my executions right now so we can go over that. But I like how I did it though. I didn't get the best entry for a reason, not for a reason because I'm a genius and I, did anything smart. I got in at a bad entry because I wanted to see more confirmation that this wasn't just, a random surge, and that we're actually getting some real price action that was showing bullish to at least the high of day, or intermarket or intraday, like New York session. So live time here, I'm still not in the trade. What was I waiting for? I wanted to see this fair value gap hold, which we do, this 1 minute hold, this bullish imbalance, and I wanted to see this 1 minute bearish, the last thing in my way to this break even point, get ran, and I want to see that get inverse. So we end up making a big move up. Didn't want to just enter off of that. I did think about entering off the 2 minute, which would have been right here, which would have been the best possible entry. It would have worked, obviously. But again, I didn't want to get faked out by a move and just really get, caught with my hand in the cookie jar, like I said earlier. I like that phrase. And I want to just make sure I'm being smart, being safe, and just really making sure that this is a real move rather than just a little spike up. So we have some more structure. I'm just kind of looking at the lowest time frames, and I end up making my decision to get into the market because we tap this inverse and we start respecting it. So let me see when I can actually get in here. So I get in right around here. Wanted to see this become an order block, and I kind of just have a loose stop loss. I wasn't going to let myself lose $200, but I just had it down there just in case the market fell through, and just, you never want to be caught off guard. I do manage my position a little bit bad just because I was trying to mitigate risk a little bit, so I started taking profits at weird spots. I wanted to see this order block form, and it does right there. So I see that, and I see it start reacting off of it. And I set that as my break-even point just because, again, when I'm on a day that's a little bit more scalpy of a trade, a little bit tougher of a day to navigate, I don't mind going to break-even really quickly. This is a little bit quick, but again, I don't really want to risk much on this trade just because of just the quality of it. It's not the greatest trade of all time. And I end up taking one off here just to kind of mitigate, or just so I could cover commission fees if it stops me at break even, so I could leave my stop at break even, right? And I was like, okay, cool. Now I cover commissions. Notice how it comes back down. And it just allows me to just let the trade kind of play out more without having to worry. Should I have taken one there? Obviously no, but I didn't really want to be in 5 contracts on this trade that I'm really scalping for. And I was just happy to see it move and just happy to be in a free trade. So, at this point, I thought I was just going to run straight to that target, but it doesn't. And let's see how we take out another profit. We took one off. No, we haven't yet. Have we not? No, so we still have the 4 micros going. I wanted to see this 1 minute fair value gap stay open. I had my stop just trailed underneath. And the price action looks pretty good here, if I'm being honest. It doesn't look too bad. And let me see what happens here. Dude, my eye's been itching. Okay, we got our take profit. So we end up leaving it here, and we take 2 off there. Probably should have just grabbed 3 off because I end up taking another one off anyways. But this ends up being a solid gain. Let's see when it comes through, and it should go on this candle. I'm pretty sure. I can't, if I remember right. Maybe I'm tripping. There, boom. $68 locked in there, and I would have had 157. It came all the way to the high right away. It does not, which would have been cool. But I was kind of just looking around. I was like, "Yo, I like this trade now. I got a first take profit. Again, we didn't really have to risk too much. If it just fell through the floor, we would have lost 200, but that's the maximum. Not the greatest RR, but it was a high confidence trade. I wanted to get into the marketplace when I saw something that I liked, and I wanted to just take advantage of something that I saw that I could interpret and get in on and practice. And just, it's good to see a win come through because it's nice to, feel like you're able to get into the marketplace and do something and read the price well. So I read the price leg on this move decent in my opinion. Again, it's not the greatest trade ever. It's not a home run. It's not something you're going to see posted all over social media and just, whatever, right? It's not how it's going to be. But I'm definitely happy with it. So I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever. It's not my prized possession, but I end up taking another one off somewhere. I can't remember. I think like here probably. Yeah, so I take one off here because I really didn't know if we were gonna have enough juice to get to the high because of this candle specifically here. I saw this rejection wick, and then the trade ends up stopping me out for break even at the end. So it ends up stopping me at break even. Let's see where it'd be at now. It would have still stopped me at break even, which is fine. It just inverse back up. But yeah, this candle here was actually the top until this retracement, so it was kind of good to notice the order flow, right? That's something I think I did well in this trade was notice, okay, this was a very bearish reaction. We shouldn't close like this after this move. We should really close above this. So I closed one more position and let the last one get stopped at break even. We probably continue higher if I had to guess, just because we have this 5 minute that is, it didn't hold, I guess, but we have just really slow price action, but I do expect us to reach up there. And that was the trade it took. I'm up $100. We're up on the account 1,617. I do not care about the account balance whatsoever because I know it doesn't mean anything if I don't consistently show up and keep performing and keep doing the right things. So it's a good day to have under a belt. Again, I'm not ecstatic. I'm not over the moon. It's just a small day. But I do think that this was a good trade. If I would have gotten in and trusted my bias more on the 2 minute close, we would have closed out for more points here. We could have closed the whole trade there for around $200. And if I got in on the retest, I could have gotten around 250 on 5 micros. And we could have even risked maybe more because, 13-point risk. So we could have really had a really, really nice RR here if we got in with bigger, more size on this retest. We could have gotten with probably like 6 or 7 micros. Take 5 off here, let the runners go. Maybe take a runner off at this high since we put it in, and then let the runner go here, 50 points. Could have been a nice day, but, it's just good to do all right? I mean, if we got in better, if we got in lower down right here on this fair value gap, we wouldn't have been stopped at break even, right? That's just something I have to get better at, is finding the best possible entry, getting in as early as possible. But again, man, I really, really do not hate this entry. I waited for more confluence. I waited for a 1 minute fair value gap and another order block, 2 order blocks, 2 inversions, real clear structure that said we were going to these highs instead of just jumping the gun on some green candles spiking in. So happy with how I traded. Frustrating to see this still run to my final take profit, but I'm not going to let it really bother me too much. Again, I've made my decisions on trade. I made my decisions of where to put my stop loss. Does kind of show, though, that if I just got in here and just didn't move my stop, didn't go to break even, didn't take profits here, this would be a 50-point move. If it gets there, I'm not saying it's going to, but that would be a $500 move. So to keep note, right, this would be really, really solid to have just grabbed along right off this inversion tap, risked 14 points, and then captured that or left the target here, just left my stop, maybe go to break even now, maybe trail underneath this low. I don't really know. Who knows how the best way to manage it? That just comes with time. Seeing the market over and over and kind of just learning from each day, each mistake, each trade. But yeah, I mean, this is still a good trade. It had good structure, good bones on the trade. It just, unfortunately, I didn't make a ton of money from it because of the way I managed it. And also just the opportunity that was given to me in the market wasn't something that was going to ever net me 100 points. At best case scenario, it might get me 40 to 50, but that's best case. This trade was never going to offer me 100 points. That's just how it was. That's why I knew get into it. So you have to understand what you're getting into, right? It's not always going to be home runs. You can make a real living getting 20, 30 points. It's just about consistently finding good ones. So I think the patience played off, waiting around all day, waiting for a setup. The patience played off at least a little bit, right? Again, it's not a monster trade. And right now, live time, seeing this run, it does frustrate me. I cannot lie. It does frustrate me. So I'm glad that I definitely locked my account. But is it gonna impact me tomorrow? No, it's not, because what can I change about it? I can't change anything. I can't change anything now. All I can do is learn from it and show it better tomorrow. So, yeah, all I can do is learn and show it better. So this week, I'm trying to only take about 1 or 2 more trades this week. 2 to 3 more trades, because I'm trying to get to a point where I only take about 4 trades max a week. 3 trades would be nice. And I kind of want to just watch price play out, and then I'll be completely done watching the charts. I want to see us take out that level about 10 points away. Yeah, pretty frustrating that I wasn't able to stay in through this, right? Shook me out here, got me stopped at break even, is what it is. But yeah, if we got in on this 2-minute tap, we would have been golden. Or if we just didn't move our stop loss or take profits. But that's something I'm having to learn. What do I like? What do I not like? I'm trying to figure out if I'm a take profit kind of guy, or if I'm a don't move my stop loss and let the trade go forever type of guy. I don't really know yet. I think it depends. Today I didn't have the utmost confidence that we had to get up to this high in this session, just because we have been kind of slow. We have been kind of grindy. And since we did take out this, I didn't know if we were just going to be exhausted after taking out this high. So I didn't want to really get caught. Again, I'm going to say for the 3rd time this video, I didn't want to get caught with my hand in the cookie jar and try and say, oh, we're going to go to this high for sure. And then, something dumb happened, like come up here and then stop me out. So didn't manage it like a professional, but we kept our head today. So we followed our rules again, which is nice. We followed our rules. We stuck to our plan, which was waiting for a good setup. And we could have managed things better on the trade. I definitely made some emotional decisions managing and handling the trade. But they weren't end of the world type mistakes. They weren't closing the trade right away type mistakes. They weren't over leverage mistakes. So in terms of mistakes, for how mistakes can go, not the worst. But stuff we do need to polish up none the least. So yeah, good day here. Clear market maker buy model today. A little bit of a frustrating day for sure. Definitely not a home run day by any means. Let me know what you guys took today. Let me know what you guys saw, how you guys like things. If you got trades earlier, later, didn't trade, whatever. How did you guys do? Because, yeah, today was frustrating. It was like watching paint dry for most of the morning. I haven't ate yet, man. I don't eat breakfast, but I normally don't sit on until 1. So I'm freaking starving, man. But I'm going to get this video out. Texans, they took care of the first leg of my parlay. The rest of that leg, I'll be posting that on Twitter. You guys can follow me on there. I'm just going to throw my parlays, my meme coins, trading stuff, whatever. I don't really know how Twitter gets worked. I don't really know how I want to use Twitter yet. I'm just kind of figuring out. You don't have to follow, obviously. But if you want to just see some random stuff from me, make sure to follow me on there. It'll be in the description of this video. Because Twitter seems like it could be some fun, right? It does seem kind of dumb at the same time, but it's fun to just throw up random stuff on there. And just, yeah, you guys can get a little more insight on what I do with my day-to-day life, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I don't really know how that platform works yet, like I said. But, yeah, I'll be throwing my parlay later in the week when it starts getting closer to hitting. But, yeah, we have a few days stretched out in that parlay. But, yeah, I don't really got much else going on in my life to talk about. I like to just kind of blab at the end of these. But, yeah, I don't really have anything to waste your time talking about. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate all you guys again. Like always, make sure to get outside, have some fun, go to the gym, whatever. Just get better today and come back tomorrow, and we'll continue following our rules. So this is 2 days in a row. We're 40% so far in this week. So we've, at worst case scenario, we followed our rules for 40% of the days this week, or 40% of the time this week. That's a W in my book. We're going to try and clear this week out with all good mental days where we don't make any big mistakes. We don't make any mistakes, and we show up and we do well. And we follow our rules every single day this week. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.